So far, the Dutch have taken 3 UCI rainbow jerseys. And now down to the final event of the men's elite. We'll see if they can do more of the same. Live from Louisville, Kentucky, it's the final event of the UCI Cyclo-Cross World Championships from Eva Bandman Cyclo-Cross Park. 20 nations are here, 45 starters in the race. And hello once again, everybody. I'm Peter Graves, alongside analyst Simon Burney for this final event. And this is certainly the big event that a lot of the crowd has been waiting for, Simon.
This is the one. This is one everyone's here for. Yeah, the rest is a bit of a sideshow. This is the big race, and it's going to be a classic.
Well, take a look at the weather here right now. There is no snow. It's warmed up a little bit, but there still is some wind out there, making the windshield feel a little bit colder than it actually is here. Temperature's about 30 degrees at the moment. And they're beginning to call the starting grid into place. Many people have arrived here in costume for this event and quaffing some of their favorite beverage. "20 nations are here, and history has been made here today. For 60 years, the cyclocross world has had their world championships in Europe. And this is the first time they have ventured to the Americas. And here in Louisville, a city that has embraced this sport, Simon, we take a look at the previous winners here at the World Championships. Many of them in the field today, of course.
Yeah, there's still 3 or 4 of those guys still racing. Bart Wellens, Sven Nys, Niels Albert. 2 out of those 3 could still be on the top step at the end of this race as well.
Alongside us, we've had a near capacity crowd in the park here today. You take a look at the course, the length, 2.780 meters. And there is the variation of road, grass, sand, and mud. As you know, the championships were going to be in 2 days, but the Ohio River, of which our venue is adjacent to, has been rising rapidly. And so we have, as you can see from this live shot here, you can see exactly what they're worried about. They've worked very hard to make some barriers here, Simon. The organizers have done a marvelous job.
They have, yes, in very, very difficult circumstances. They've managed to keep the waters at bay. Just need to keep them away for another hour, and then I'm sure it's going to get higher tonight. This whole place is supposed to be underwater tomorrow morning.
A look at the starting list.
The favourites are going to come from 1 to 7 on that list. Sven Nys, Niels Albert, Kevin Powles, Klaas van Toornout. Any one of those could be the man for today.
Take a look at some of the Americans there. Jeremy Powers, Ryan Traband, Tim Johnson, Jonathan Page, Jim Driscoll, among others. Jonathan Page coming up with a big win in Wisconsin a couple of weeks back on a snowy, cold day there in Verona.
Yeah, Page is back after a difficult start to the season. Didn't quite get it together until Christmas time, really. He was struggling with recurring illness, living over in Belgium. Back to the form that, maybe the form that saw him take 2nd place at the World Championships in Belgium in 2007. Currently announced a new sponsor a couple of days ago, moving forward with Fuji bikes.
But everywhere you look here, the story is evident of the enthusiasm for this sport. And the fans have traveled from overseas and all around the world here. course, if you look in the press room, Simon, which I did this morning, was an enormous crowd of journalists in there, too.
Yes, it's major news in Central European countries. Television, written press, even radio. Sent a lot of people over. There's Lars van der Haar, last year's under-23 world champion. He'll be trying to make it 4 out of 4 for Netherlands.
And already, if you have been watching with us today, American Katie Compton coming up with a silver medal today, and really a strong performance. Rob Peters wearing the kit of Belgium.
Bayern out. Next to Van der Haar, next to Sven Nys, next to the Belgian national champion, Klaas van Toornout. The word from Sven's camp is he's relaxed, happy, ready to go. They can expect good things from him today. There's Klaas van Toornout, missed the last World Cup through injury, but only off his bike for a few days, should be back to full form today. Kevin Powell's great season. 5 wins, second in the World Cup. Niels Albert, 10 wins, first in the World Cup. Defending world champion. Francis Murray, the one outsider that could throw a spanner in the works as far as internationals, breaking into the Belgian top 3.
Well inside a minute to start. The final event of these championships. And they have been wonderful.
Just watch Van der Haar at this start. He coils himself up like a little spring, like a little terrier. So psyched up. Martin Biener just in the background there, the winner from Hoogerheide. Maybe just got a little bit too warm for him. The mud's come.
And we are underway with a final race here of the Cyclo-Cross World Championships for the first time ever in the United States. And
Peters, Van Toornout, Van der Haar, top 3 around the first corner. One of the few times Van der Haar's not led, probably off the road at the start this year in the World Cup. Got a bit squeezed out by Rob Peters there, but that's where the crash in the women's race occurred, but all good so far.
And so look at the Belgians up front here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You've got to remember, Peter, these guys finished top 7 at Coxside last year in the World Championships. It's a surprise when there's a different colour in that line.
Well, a national sport with a passionate international following in Belgium. The snow, which by dawn's first light today had blanketed the venue, is now all but disappeared.
Martin Biener in second there behind Klaas van Toornout. Looked like Marco Fontana maybe. Left-hand side, number 32, Marco Aurelio Fontana. Big mountain bike star, Olympic medalist. 3rd in the Rome World Cup on home grounds. The week before the national championships at the beginning of January. Four Americans there, just looking like they're around about the 20s, early 20s.
A rare opportunity for us in the United States to see these legendary riders. One and two there.
Rob Peters looks like he's going in for a bike.
Picks one up.
Peter, this race will probably take a little while to settle down compared to the last three we've seen. There'll be a pecking order, little groups will become established, and then the racing will start in the last half of the race. Not quite as manic a first lap as the junior races and the women's races that we see. Belgians happy to let Martin Biener from the Czech Republic take over the lead. Murray in fourth. Fontana in sixth.
And Biener is certainly a guy who loves the snow.
He does, yeah. He came out of relative obscurity in Hoogerheide on very, very difficult conditions. Had a couple of years with injuries, knee problem. Came back very strong. Earlier in the year, he wasn't great, you know, only in the 20s, 21st, 22nd at the first World Cups. 15th over Christmas. Just, you know, kind of thereabouts, but not really in that mix for the podium. And then, yeah, Hoogerheide just pulled one out of nowhere. Hoogerheide, we saw a really upside-down podium. You know, no Belgians on there for the first time for something like 12 years. With Simon Zahner from Switzerland, and it'll be interesting to see if the form stayed. I mean, obviously morale, that's going to do great things for his confidence, Biener. Knowing that he can compete at the front of a World Cup race. It's like he's going in for a bike. I just took a walk around the circuit in the interval between the 23s, and it's definitely getting softer. It's quite a lot of mud accumulating. I would guess they'll probably change bikes once a lap, every lap and a half. Be interesting actually what the temperature does later in the day, in another hour or so, if it starts to, as the afternoon draws in, if it starts to get colder, if the mud starts to freeze again.
And the blue sky we had is gone. It's fully cloud covered now.
Just check for, it's like Tim Johnson actually, the first American maybe. Just went out of camera shots as they switched locations, but
Tim out of Massachusetts. Topsfield, Mass. At 35 years old, he's had 6 national titles.
And a World Championship medal.
Indeed. Bronze.
Yeah.
Going back to 1999.
99, yeah.
Yeah, in Slovakia.
The Brits will be looking out for Ian Field, our national champion. Retained his national championship earlier in January. Came back from a dislocated shoulder at the Roubaix World Cup. Dislocated it, bunny hopping the barriers in training. Still managed to land it, didn't fall off. So, and towards the end of the first lap, we'll just get an idea of where riders are settling in after the initial half lap. sort out. Bina, Murray, Fontana, Powell's, Nace.
We had a number of Americans running in the top 20.
Three Swiss, middle of the teens there. Julien Taramaka, Simon Zada and Lucas Fluckinger. They've all had great years. Outstanding riding from those three recently. Good to see another nation, Switzerland, back where they used to be 15, 20 years ago. In the days of Frischneck and Wabel and Dieter Runkel.
Jeff Kabush of Canada running in 23rd place, down just 23 seconds now.
Powers in 19th. That's probably slightly off where he was hoping on his first lap, but he's in touch. The gaps are small at the moment. He's only 20 seconds down and 52 minutes to go, so plenty of time for him.
Jonathan Page running in 9th now for the United States.
Indeed, with Niels Albert.
Page originally out of Northfield, New Hampshire. Now, as we said, living in Belgium.
Yeah, I've been in Belgium a few years now. Children are growing up there, speaking English and Flemish. And made a home for himself in Oudenaarde, south of Ghent.
Okay, with Jeremy Powers running in 19th unofficially, Jeff Kabush in 23rd, Tim Johnson unofficially in 25th place. Ryan Traband right behind him.
Niels Albert getting a bike. Having a quick word with the mechanic. Maybe some different tyres or a different tyre pressure. Francis Murray taking on at the head early on in the race.
Simon, have you seen the need for different tires that we had earlier today?
Yeah, this has changed from earlier in the day for sure. Some riders are having a different tyre front and rear as well, just because it's a really difficult condition to predict when it's mud on top and still frozen underneath.
And as I can tell you right now, outside our broadcast location, it is indeed starting to snow again here. So, Simon, we may see some big changes affected by the weather. And that's one of the big factors in this sport.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we said earlier, it's the rider's ability to cope with change and to cope with conditions that change every few minutes. Different lines, different places to dismount. What you do one lap, you might not do it the same the second lap. And at the moment, Murray's throwing it down for the Belgians to follow. He's actually got a handy little gap there. How long the Belgians leave Martin Bina out front to chase for, I'm not too sure. They might decide that Murray's going to be a little bit too far out front.
The French leader right there.
World Cup podium in Koksijde, Belgium in November. Moraine. Took the race on there as well. It's a great victory by Sven Nys, who we're seeing now on camera in Coxsider. Came back to Niels Albert on the last lap. One of his best wins, I think, that one. But at the moment, Murray's obviously taking some inspiration from his compatriot Lucy Chanel. Bronze medal earlier in the day. Kevin Powles has replaced Biener, head of the chase. Klaas van Toorn always thereabouts. Doesn't win many races, but always in the top 4 or 5. Likes to ride from the front. And Murray's no stranger to racing in the US either. He came over last year, raced Las Vegas, raced a couple of the US Grand Prix, raced in Madison. Just enough to get him used to the how to cope with the travel and the different environment that he find here.
And now 7 laps to go as our leader goes by. Just 14:23 into the race so far. And now we'll get another check shortly on how some of the North Americans are faring. World Championship Men's Elite, if you've just joined us, live from Louisville, Kentucky. Peters in 5th, 17 back.
Niels Albert 25 seconds back. That's a fair chunk of time to take back later in the race, but
Page running 13th.
Page is there in contention where he needs to be. Traband and Powers together, 20th, 21st, just under a minute down. Fontana must have had trouble that second half of that lap. Peter, he's down 37 seconds down in 17th after being in that group with Biener and Nason, Van Toornout and Powles.
So Jonathan Page running 13th. He's 30 seconds down for the United States.
Oh, Moreau's down. Back up quick. A real problem.
Ryan Traband, now living in Bend, Oregon, running in 20th. He's 51 back. Jeremy Powers in 21st.
Just see Moreau just...
Take a look at what happened.
Yeah, just slid out on a rut.
The top Canadian now, Jeff Kabush, sitting in 24th place, down just under a minute at 58 seconds.
I don't think we've seen a leader of a race yet that hasn't crashed, have we, Peter? I don't think...
No, I agree.
Van der Poel crashed early on, came back with no problems. Miles Bean and Nace Van Torn out. Albert chasing.
Look at the chasers there. And look at the crowd that's here.
Seconds at the halfway split for Moreau. Out of sight on the long straight, just about. Chasers both go into the pits for bikes. That'll give him another couple of seconds.
And here are the chasers breathing down his neck.
Walsleben and Van der Haar just dangling off the back of that chasing group. Walsleben, the German champion.
If you look at some of those sides, it looks like you could be in Europe almost. And our leader, through this tunnel of noise, and with 6 to go, here comes our leader.
8 wins to his name this year, Murray. French national champion. Rides on the road for Francis Desjeux, Francais Desjeux.
"14 seconds, 16, 17, and 20 on the chasers. But can he afford to feel confident right now? That's a pretty close gap, isn't it?
It is, but if he's feeling comfortable, it's the safest place to be. He can afford to have a couple of slicks like we saw earlier in that last lap and not get dropped from a group. Very experienced. He'll know how to ride for an hour at the kind of effort he needs to put out. I'm sure he'll be expecting to receive some company at some point in the race. Julian Taramarkaz moving up well. He's at 25 seconds in 9th place after that lap. Put him in contention with the group. Chasing Murray to 4th. Jonathan Page in 11th.
Jonathan Page running in 11th now for the United States.
Ian Fields up to 28th, just behind Jeremy Powers. That'll be a good incentive, nice carrot to chase for Ian. Powers actually struggling, I think, that lap. Tim Johnson's gone past him, minute 24 down.
Other Canadians, Craig Ritchie running in 36th. Mike Garrigan in 39th at the moment. Speaking of Canadian, Jeff Kabush, a 3-time Olympian, 8th this year at the mountain bike event at the Olympic Games in London.
Seconds the gap now from Murray back to Powles. So Powles is on a bit of a surge there, taking 6 seconds out of him since the finish line. And you can see him now at the top of the rock run. Sven Nys right with Powles.
Granite steps there.
Bina down to 7th and Taramarkaz up to 8th. Good ride by the Swiss, Volsleben and Simonek 9 and 10. Teammates, previously teammates. Page just dropping down slightly there, down to 14th on the half-lap split. Riding with Thijs van Amerongen from the Netherlands.
Pretty serious chase underway now.
Kevin Powles looks like he's going to make contact within a reasonably short space of time there, I think. He's looking motivated to try and bridge that gap. left-handed dismount, Powell's as well, which is handy for that.
And the French rider trying to hold off and abate this charge. Kevin Powell's at Belgium, and they have closed the gap. And they are riding together now with 5 laps to go in this championship. 28:50 into this race. And Sven moving up too.
Yeah, Nathan Van Toorn out, 5 seconds. No real issue there for either of those two to get across that gap when the time's right. We've seen Bina dropping back there, 23 seconds back in 7th. Maybe his ambition overtook his ability there a little bit, Bina. Tried to take the race on quite early.
Moret of France still in the lead here now, as they have flip-flop back and forth.
Bart Welland's doing a nice ride up to 11th now, just behind Radomir Simunek. Haven't seen much of Welland's at the front of the World Cup races this year since he missed some time at the back end of last year with a mystery illness.
We still have Jonathan Page for the United States running in 13th place, 45 seconds down now, right in front of Rob Peters. "45 starters here today, 20 nations." And as always, the World Championships bring out something very special in the riders.
Powers and Field still locked together, 28th, 29th, 150 down, 5 laps to go. Disappointing for Powers, I think. He's been a bit of a poster boy for this World Championship, and I think the pressure was on him to try and deliver the elite men's result until Jonathan Page took the national title. Powers struggled at that race, national championship race, couldn't finish in the top 5, and doesn't look like he's found his form since then either.
But to a person, all the American riders have said what a thrill it is for them to compete here on home soil. And our old friend Mark Gullickson has put together quite a program.
He has, he's done a good job with this one. It's full squad in every race. Some good promising results across the board as well. Looks like Niels Albert just getting dropped off that front group. Powers in second, Van Toorn out in third, and Nace in fourth. No sign of Albert. There he is. Just a little bit too much of a gap there for him, I think.
Two Belgians into the lead now.
Lars van der Haar. This time last year winning an under-23 title. Now top 6 in the elite.
Ryan Traband running in 19th place at 124 back now. The 31-year-old who won the 2004 and 2006 U.S. Grand Prix of Cyclo-Cross.
Some frantic activity in the pits there. There's some riders doing half-lap changes, so it gives you about three and a half minutes to get a bike clean and lubed and ready. WD-40 doing a great job with the neutral service for the bike washing. Masters Worlds last week, they were on their limit, but they did a great job. Murray's still full of fight. He's still happy to sit on the front. Usually when you see a rider get caught after half an hour off the front, they're quite happy to follow the wheels, but he's still looking like he's got some energy left.
And now he too has a wheel to follow.
Last one torn out, teammate of Kevin Powell's, fourth one in line. One torn out at the front.
They are really pushing each other now, Simon.
Yeah, Nace is happy to follow. I don't think he's under any particular problem in that group, but he's still happy to not take the front.
And now we're at 4 laps to go, 36 minutes and change into this final World Championship event here, the men's elite category. Van Turnhout leading at the moment. But it's been a seesaw battle here. Van den Haar in 6th place, 16 seconds back. Wellens and Bina at 32 and 33 back. And now back to the leaders. And right now between these two guys, one thinks this is certainly a bit of strategy going on now, kind of a cat and mouse game.
A little bit. You've only got two Belgians there from the same professional team. They tend to ride individually as far as wanting to win the race. They probably wouldn't chase each other down, but they certainly wouldn't mind attacking each other. And always, they'd always rather see another Belgian win than Murray, so. Looks like Johnson has dropped. Sorry, not Johnson, beg your pardon, Jonathan Page has dropped down. Tim Johnson is actually leading American now in 19th.
I believe Ryan Traband in 17th, actually.
Yeah, you're right. Missed that one.
And Ryan is running 134 back. Tim Johnson is 19th, 149 back. And Jonathan Page is now 25th at 205 back.
Yeah, he's either been off or had a bike problem there. That's a lot of time to lose. Bike for Van Tornout. And Murray still happy to sit on the front of these.
Well, you got to believe he still feels that he's got it in the legs.
Absolutely, it's whether he feels he's happier riding at his tempo than somebody else's. Just like Niels Albert getting back onto that group as well.
Moret, the French leader, hanging on to a juggernaut of Belgian riders here. But he's riding with confidence, and he appears to be very much under control now.
Awkward dismount at the bottom of that descent now, getting really rutted. Not possible to make the turn on the bike that we saw in the other races.
Everybody's taking a pretty wide line on that turn, too.
Van der Haar's only 7 seconds off the back of that little group, I think.
Time for another bike change, Simon.
Yeah, Sven Nys comes in. Just check to see where Albert is before he swings out. Albert's just yo-yoing off the back of that group. Just never quite on the wheel. Loses a few seconds, claws it back.
Albert, in fact, began his cycling career as a BMX racer. He got all those great bike handling skills.
Sven Nys the same, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Past the Lembeek umbrella again. The sand is definitely getting softer now. You can see the way they're moving their upper bodies around. That's the sand's starting to break up. A little more difficult to ride. Jamie Driscoll on a parallel part of the course, a little bit further down. I think early 20s for Driscoll.
Driscoll out of Sandy, Utah.
Nys just nips past Murray to close the gap down on Van Tornout. I think you could see a few bike lengths just opening up there.
Murray running
Murray actually back to fourth now, yeah.
In fourth, yeah.
Kevin Powles and Niels Albert just on the back wheel of Murray. Oh, problem for Nys. chain off and chain stuck.
Oh my.
That is a disaster.
Oh, this is going to really cost him, Simon.
That is tragic. Looked like it got maybe stuck over the top of the chainring, down between the crank and the chainring. We'll see how many seconds he's lost as we cross the line now. That's exactly the same place where Katarina Nash lost her chain on that in the women's race earlier in the day.
But perhaps a rider of his pedigree is going to be able to pick it up, but we'll see. And I believe for the first time in this race, the Frenchman Moret is back in 5th place. Here's that problem.
It's Kevin Powles. Excuse me, I thought it was Sven Nys. Kevin Powles has the problem.
And Simon, whatever, that was costly.
It's still a Belgian out of that front group. Yeah. We saw the white helmet and the muddy face and got the wrong Belgian there, but so Klaas van Toorn out and Sven Nys. And still problems for Powles.
And seconds.
That is too bad. That's
seconds ticking away here on a world-class athlete.
Whatever he's done there is significant, because that just keeps, the same thing keeps happening. And that's lost him 1:45.
The ever-changing fortunes of this race, to be sure.
Absolutely.
Now the early leader, Moreau of France, running in 4th place.
No, I don't think he is. I think we're seeing Van Toorn out, Nys, Albert and Van der Haar.
Okay.
In the top 4. Moret not in sight at the moment. So whether Moret's had a problem as well. Klaas van Toorn out in for a bike. You can see how much muddier it's got in the last half hour. Sticky as well. Niels Albert in 3rd. Van der Haar 4.
Once again, 2 Belgian riders at the head of the race, and also a Belgian rider in 3rd place today. The first of the Dutch campaigners coming by.
That's the closest we've seen Van der Haar to Niels Albert. Might not be a Belgian clean sweep quite just yet.
In other words, don't call it yet.
Well, as we saw with Kevin Powles,
yeah,
anything can happen. Van der Haar rides the corner. There's the first one. It's done that for a few laps. Good skills.
And truth be told, we haven't seen Moret. We don't know where he is exactly now, do we?
We don't. Nys is putting the pressure on Van Toorn out as well.
Once again, a look at our leaders pushing each other and building now a somewhat comfortable lead.
Yeah, Niels Albert's going to have a problem closing that one back down. Nice to see some shots of 5th, 6th, 7th, just to see where Francis Moret went to, see where Martin Biener is. Who's more looking for the top 10. We're going to have to wait till the finish line before we see the full story here. What happened on that lap? Cameras staying pretty much firmly with the top 3. Van der Haar chasing. Albert in 3rd. Yeah, the big Jeremy Powers cut out, but it's not happening for him today. He's back in the 20s, having a probably less than happy time. But Nace coming in with 2 to go, with a rapidly growing gap on Van Toorn out there. See if he sits up on the road, probably not. He's happy to ride, so 2 to go, 50 minutes done. This is where the strong guys start to come out to play. 45, 50 minutes in, when it's heavy, muddy, snowing.
2 to go.
Van der Haar made the junction to Niels Albert. Great lap from Van der Haar.
And perhaps we'll see about our French athlete here. Van der Haar running in 4th place now, 22 back.
Julien Termarcaz up to 5th. Doing a really good ride there. 38 seconds down, 16 seconds down on Van der Haar. Philippe Volsleben up to 6th. Bart Wellens is up to 7th. Radomir Siminek 8th. So far, no sign of Francis Moret. Well, that early 30 minutes when he looked comfortable, in control. I'm sure there's going to be a story there after the race. What happened to them?
Moret there in 9th.
Moret in 9th and Thijs van Amerongen in 10th.
And he's 106 back. But it happened very quickly. He was there, all of a sudden, then he wasn't. Ryan Traband, the top, appears to be the top American unofficially, running in 16th place. Jonathan Page now in 24th.
Kevin Powell's now 12th, 147 down, which is exactly the, I think, the amount of time we thought he'd lost in his bike chain issues last lap. So he's going the same speed as the leaders, picking places off up to 12th. Just in front of Simon Zana. Rob Peters in 14, Enrico Franzoi in 15. Bart Ehrnoot 16, Marcel Meissen, Lucas Flockinger, Tim Johnson 19th.
And the temperature is really dropping out there now, Simon.
Yeah, the snow's still coming down quite heavily. Can't quite see it on the camera, but if you look out of the window, we can. Looks quite windy as well. These two, it's going to come down to similar to the under-23 race, a lap and a half. Who's got the legs? For Nace, it would be a fitting end to an incredible career, second world title. For Klaas van Toornout, it would be a fitting addition to his national champions jersey. To be Belgian national champion, you almost have to be world champion quality anyway, so he won the Belgian championships for the first time this year. Van der Haar now. Where is Albert? So Van der Haar's got a few bike lengths on Niels Albert. Might not have the Belgian clean sweep on the podium that we were looking. It was looking likely a lap or two ago. Van der Haar's a gutsy little fighter. He's a great guy to watch racing. Never gives up. Full of fight.
Simon, if a lot of the Europeans arrived early enough to be essentially over any jet lag?
I think so, not completely over it, but well enough to not for it to not affect their performance. Niels Albert, Wietse Bosmans, they flew over 10 days, 11 days ago, and the rest of the Belgian team arrived 8 days ago. Missed the race in Cincinnati. Took in a basketball game earlier in the week. Sven was got front row seats. Somebody obviously knew who he was, got him a VIP deal.
Indeed.
So yeah, they've been pretty relaxed. They've been training, but the weather's been pretty bad as well. So they've been doing a lot of training on the turbo trainers indoors. I've seen pictures, Twitter and Facebook of Nace on the rollers, playing video games. Now rides the barriers and puts in a bit of an attack. Klaas van Toornout got the legs to react to it. Little test with a lap and a half to go. 56.5 minutes of racing done.
And he's shut down that attack.
Normally Van Toornout's going to have to get rid of Nace before the finish. I think if it comes to a sprint, then Nace is going to have should have the upper hand. I think mentally Nace is very, very strong. He's been in a situation where he's won a race on the last lap so many times. Knows when to make an effort. Van Toornout likes to ride from the front. Nace just scooting off the floor.
Two of the great ones here, two of the legends. Quickly back on that bike again. Hitting this steep descent.
Who's going to make a mistake? Who's going to put a foot down on a climb? Who's going to slide on a corner? Because at the moment, that's what it's looking like it's going to come down to. Physically, they're matching each other's little attacks, little surges. Nace is riding the barriers, could just give him the impetus for another attack on the last lap.
And we're coming up on the final lap, folks. 58:15 right now. Has ticked away for the clock. And our two leaders from Belgium. Let's see what the gap is going to be here, Simon.
Van der Haar, 17 seconds. I don't think he's going to cause either of these two a problem on this last lap, so it's going to be down to Klaas van Tornout, Sven Nys, Bart Wellens. Where did he come from?
I think he's been moving up.
He has been moving up. He's up to 4th. 32 seconds down. Caught Niels Albert, Philippe Wolfsleben, Julian Tamaracas, Radomir Simunek just off the back of that group, but Wellens did an incredible lap that time. Wellens, one of the hard men, former elite world champion, under 23 world champion. Likes it muddy, likes it hard. Bit of snow won't put him off.
And now you can see it for sure, graphic proof of the snow that is falling here now, and it's coming down hard.
Simunek up to 8th, Thijs van Amerongen doing a nice ride up to 9th. Just in front of Martin Biener, Francis Moraine 11th. Oh, Sven held that nicely. Big rear wheel drift around that corner.
Riding through the pain and the snow here now. And this is likely to be a very big day for Belgium.
Yeah, it's a big day whatever happens, Peter. If they lose, it's a massive big day. If they win, it's just a regular big day.
Right.
But one of these two is going to get it for sure. My money's on Sven with half a lap to go, but Klaas van Tornout, he's a big, strong fella. But I still think he's going to have to drop Nys to win the jersey. No bike changes. Tim Johnson still leading American in 19th, just behind Lucas Flukiger. But at the minute, all the eyes, all the interest are on these two guys. Lars van der Haar will be happy with a podium. He can put one over on Niels Albert and Kevin Powell's. That's a great result for his CV. Nys just following. He's either decided it's going to come down to a sprint or he's got a place in mind for an attack, but he's not going to sit on the front and just ride. He's going to...
Just such instinctive riding for these guys.
"40 races a year for 20 years, it becomes quite instinctive."
I would say so, yes.
Yeah, so nice. Torn out a little bit slower off the bike. Nice. Oh boy. Torn out, just caught his pedal on the barrier. That could be all Nys needs. He only needs a couple of seconds, and he won't let that go. Ah, Klaas, what were you doing?
They're trying to make a break now.
This is it, full gas. Didn't quite get that corner right at bottom of the stairs. Just put his bike down too soon. Just caught the pedal on the corner of that barrier.
What an exciting race here. The battle for the gold medal. Nys still off the front. And trying to open up. He looks like he's really pushing it now, Simon.
Rise the barriers clean this lap. They put another second or two in. Does it under pressure. Van Torn out, not giving up. It's just a little bit too far.
Incredible race here.
Through the sand for the last time. No problem for Sven. No problem for Klaas. We just got the awkward descent and climb back where we saw Kevin Powles and Katarina Nash have bike problems. We wouldn't wish that on anybody at this stage of the race. It's been a long time coming, this one for Sven. One World Championship was never quite enough for his resume, and he needed just to prove he's one of the greatest cross rider of the modern generation. This win will cement that, I think.
Absolutely.
Another rainbow jersey at the end of his career. I don't think there's one person watching that's wouldn't begrudge him this jersey. Doesn't quite make the last climb. As Van Torn out cleans it. Clean around the last corner for Sven onto the road. You take it.
And look at this, Simon. Through the snow. And a hard, challenging race. And look at how close it is in the end.
Klaas Van Torn out bangs his bars, but Sven had that in the last quarter of a lap. That is an incredible result. He'll be so happy with that one.
Nice, takes it 1 hour, 5 minutes, 35 seconds.
And Van der Haag, the Dutch, what a weekend for the Dutch. What a weekend, what a day for the Dutch. Incredible.
And they'll take a third place there.
3 titles, 1 bronze medal.
Lars.
Netherlands put Belgium into second place, I think, today.
Van der Haag just 25 seconds back. With a bronze medal today.
Bart Welland's in 4th. We haven't seen a result like that for a while from him. And a sprint, Volkswagen and Tara Marcus 5 and 6. So, Niels Albert slipped backwards on that last lap while we were watching the battle at the front.
And a race at a course that was pure World Championships.
Seeing it, there's Niels Albert, defending world champion, back in 8th place. Wasn't to be for him today.
119 back for Albert. Martin Pina finishing up in 10th, 141 back. Francis Moret, our early leader in 11th, and he put on quite a show. A gutsy performance for a lot of the race. 154 back.
Kevin Powles lost 147 with that bike problem, finishes 204 down. That would have been a great battle with him still at the front without that.
Yeah, he had it so close.
Mechanical problem.
So close within his grasp. Finishes 204 back. And the fans have been incredible today here in Louisville. Supporting every rider. Zanner of Switzerland 13th. Enrico Franzoni of Italy in 14th. And they are honoring every athlete that has come in. Lucas Flukiger, 17th on the day. Rob Peters. And Tim Johnson inside the top 20 for the United States. 320 back. Good for him. And a look back at another championship performance. One Belgian rider in joy, the other in disappointment. And here was third place. As the Netherlands have already taken 3 rainbow jerseys today here in Louisville. But on this one day, it's proved to be so special, these World Championships in here. And there is a look at the top standings today. Sven doing a marvelous job, 105.35.
Before we sign off, Peter, I think we should, I'd like to say well done to Bruce Fener and Joan Hanscom for bringing the World Championships to the USA. I think they've done a great job. I think Europe will go back with a different view of American cyclo-cross after this. And I think the city of Louisville have done the event proud.
Well said, Simon, and thank you too for sharing the booth with me and your great expertise. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Give yourselves a round of applause. We are heading over to the podium now for my colleague Richard Fries. I am Brad Zoner. It has been an honor to share this experience with everyone. Thank you for being here.
Well, we should be getting a flash interview coming up here. And then a podium ceremony. All right, Simon.
I think if you're going to write a script for the world coming to America, Sven was the guy to win it, you know?
Yeah.
I think he's embraced the internationalism of cyclo-cross. He's a part of the cyclo-cross commission that chose the venue, that wanted to come to America. He cares about his sport, and he's a great ambassador. The last 20 years since he's been winning world championships and national championships, it's a fairy tale ending, I think, for him to come here and get another rainbow jersey that was so long in coming. You know, one's just not enough for a guy that's had the career that he's had.
Well, he took another today. All right, now let's take a look back at some of the great performance today. Marianne Vos coming across the finish line in the women's elite. And there was a great performance for Katie Compton from the United States. And there was this dramatic moment in the women's race as the French star just zips ahead at the last second or so over Katarina Nash. But it has been a day of drama. Simon, I also think that we will be left with a lot of new fans to this sport that have come down here to see it, particularly some of the local crowd maybe too.
I hope so. You know, they've got a facility here that you can use for cyclo-cross for years to come, and hopefully some people have seen this today and get inspired and become cyclo-cross riders, or get involved in the sport, promote races, sponsor riders. It's, you know, the city of, they've definitely embraced the sport. When you look on a Google map and you see Eva Bandman Cyclo-Cross Park, you know you've built something that's going to be there for a few years to come. And I think a lot of other cyclo-cross venues are quite transient and quite temporary. It's good to have this facility here.
And we're waiting for some words, I hope, from Sven.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the medal ceremony of the UCI Cyclo-Cross World Championships. We will begin with the elite women.
Simon, we're staying with our television live here for a few moments as we bring people through the ceremonies here.
The medal ceremony of the International Cycling Union's Cyclo-Cross World Championships for elite women. The medals and jersey will be presented by Antonio Lopez, Vice President of the Management Committee. In third place, and winner of the bronze medal, Lucy Chanel Lefebvre of France. In second place, winner of the silver medal, Katie Compton of the United States. In fourth place, winner of the gold medal and the new and repeat world champion, Marianne Vos of the Netherlands.
Vos, a familiar spot for her. She certainly has an incredible display of rainbow jerseys, Simon.
Yeah. You said it during her race, for me, the greatest cyclist probably ever, I think. I can't think of another cyclist that's achieved what she has. Incredible.
The flowers will be presented by the Honorable Greg Fisher, Mayor of Louisville. Ladies and gentlemen,
please stand for the national anthem of the Netherlands.
And there we have the women's elite podium here in Louisville.
Congratulations to our winners today, Marion Bowles, Katie Colton, Lucy Chanel Lafayette. Ladies and gentlemen, we will move on. We are doing all of our medal ceremonies at once. We now get to reset. Well, Brad, I don't know who won, Sven Nice or American Cyclo-Cross. You guys are awesome today. Give yourselves a round of applause.
The riders getting their final interviews now as folks all around the world, all eyes on Louisville, Kentucky today. This is the capital of the world today.
Well, you know that in Belgium, we know we had a little trouble with our river, but man, folks in Belgium, they are actually apoplectic over what they saw today. And if they know what's coming in our little juniors that we're developing, especially right here in the Ohio River Valley, as well as New England, Colorado, all over America, we are going to be back in force when we go to the Worlds from now on.
Well, hey, a lot of folks weren't sure if Louisville, Kentucky could pull it out. We had tornadoes, we had floods, we had snow, we had wind, we had rain, but in the end, Louisville made it happen.
Sven, many congratulations. What's the guy thinking? Sven, many congratulations. Just became world champion in the United States. Very special occasion. What are you thinking then?
Yeah, that it's amazing, and that last year I said I don't do it anymore, and now I win the world championships in the States. I would say thanks to all the US fans. They helped me a lot. It was a lot of motivation for me. They create something special here in the States. The weather, the circumstances. A day earlier, yeah, all my family, my fans in Belgium, the National Federation, they did one hell of a job, and I'm really happy with my second world title, and now my career is complete.
Would you say the decisive moment of the race was the moment when Van Turnhout made a mistake on the limestones?
I didn't saw it. half the course I had a flat tire just before the boxes, and I tried to close the gap immediately, and at the end of the race I felt that I was the strongest, but it cost also a lot of energy because you are nervous and you can't make any mistake, and I knew that I need to have the first place in the technical zone in the last part of the race, and there I did my acceleration and before the obstacles, and then it was full gas until the finish line, and it's really nervous, and it cost a lot of energy, but yeah, I'm really happy.
Iedereen kent het verhaal. Je zou stoppen aan het einde van volgend seizoen. Ga je nog door? Je gaat nu een seizoen in de regenboogtrui rijden en ga je dan nog je carrière verlengen?
Ik heb altijd gezegd dat het heel mooi is om als wereldkampioen afscheid te nemen van het veldrijden. Ik ga daar nu geen uitspraak over doen, want dat zou heel dom zijn. Ik ga daar rustig mijn tijd voor pakken, maar ik denk dat deze wereldtitel nog mooier is als mijn eerste. Ik heb er hard moeten voor knokken en ik ben ongelooflijk tevreden, vooral omdat het hier in Amerika is. Het respect dat ik hier heb gekregen de afgelopen maanden, de aanmoedigingen van het thuisfront, van de Belgische federatie, van iedereen die hier aanwezig was. Zelfs van de mechaniekers van de andere ploegen, soigneurs. Dus klassenwerk, en die dag vroeger is dan toch voor mij niet zo slecht geweest.
Proficiat. Enjoy.
Dank u wel.
Okay, Sven. Okay, then I think it's a wrap.
That's it. All right.
Thanks so much.
Sure.
Okay.
World
champion. We're trying to usher them to the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the medal ceremony of the UCI Cyclo-Cross World Championships for elite men. Ceremony of the International Cycling Union Cyclo-Cross World Championships for elite men. The medals and jersey will be presented by Mr. Pat McQuaid, President of the UCI. In third place, and winner of the bronze medal, Lars van den Haar of the Netherlands. In second place, and winner of the silver medal, Klaas van den Hoek of Belgium. In first place, winner of the gold medal and the rainbow jersey and the new world champion, Sven of Belgium! first will be presented by Steve Johnson, President and CEO of USA Cycling. Ladies and gentlemen, may we have your attention for the national anthem of Belgium.